Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Here on the GSMC Sports Network, we give you everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage drama. Also, we talk about superstar contract updates, maybe some injuries, maybe stuff, in between promotions and collaborations from NXT to TNA to WWE to AEW to MLW to to the GCW, also to Stardom, New Japan Professional Wrestling, the CMLL. If it makes headlines in terms of professional wrestling, we cover it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. So yeah, honestly, hey guys, today is Friday, 1010% happy it is Friday. Gotta be honest. Although I'm not a guy who has the weekend, well, not the weekend, but like Saturday off. Those who work 9 to 5 jobs, Monday through Friday, that's cool. By all means, go out there, have a nice cold beverage. I can't say what kind of drink because we are PG on this podcast. But, if it gives you a funny feeling, maybe have more than just one, just relax, chill. We have an awesome pay-per-view, AEW All In at Wembley Stadium in London on Sunday. So make sure make sure you buy that. It's going to be awesome. You can buy it on Bleacher Report, also on youtube.com or old fashioned go to pay-per-view. So I'm super excited. Can't wait to watch it. So yeah, let's go in and dig on into the content. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of what we have on tap for you today. We have our WWE Smackdown preview. We have my Thursday Night Wrestling review. We talk about the world of a Ring of Honor, and we step inside the ring of total nonstop action wrestling. And then in our third segment, we're going to talk about Roman Reigns is in way over his head. It's going to be crazy. What he needs to do to beat this new bloodline. Backstage, you've kind of seen Paul Heyman ever since his hiatus with WWE. It's been it's been about time that it's you know it's that not Triple H. Triple H isn't really I feel like all in all, I feel like Roman Reigns, he wants to be that next guy, 1010%. And and we're gonna talk about that on our third segment. And our fourth segment, we're gonna talk about our AEW All In Wembley Stadium. So I can't wait to can't wait to see that. And we in our fifth and final segment of Friday, we're gonna jump on into our our Friday, our wrestling news roundup. I got a chat right here from BBC News. BBC is saddened to learn the death of Tony Khan, founder of AEW. The condolences was wow. That's huge. Hold on, let me wow, that would be a huge that would be a huge story. I'm sorry, like that just that kind of flustered me a little bit. Like that's crazy. So as soon as my phone likes to let's say Tony Khan. Damn, I'm sorry. Nothing like that. That chat, kind of spurred some interest. And I'm not really seeing anything that confirms said comment. So dang, well, that's crazy. Like, why do you guys scare me like that? That's insane. But Tony Khan, as of right now, seems like he's alive and well. So that's that's kind of crazy for a comment. But so yeah, let's sorry, kind of fluster the whole thing there. Uh Make sure you guys hit up that super chat box. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling or just something you've been dying to get off your chest, we are all ears here at the GSMC Sports Network. And this show is all about keeping the conversation lively, keeping the party going, making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside the chat. And if you really want to make a difference, your comment and question gets, to make sure your comment or question gets noticed. Why not use that super chat? Go ahead and, just go ahead and just hit the $ below that chat box, send in the message, and it's guaranteed to get featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your support obviously means a lot to us. Super chats help us keep the lights on and bring you even more awesome professional wrestling content. We're so grateful for each and every one of you guys, 1010% here at the GSMC Sports Network. We honestly couldn't do this without you. You guys make such a difference. Your support is, basically all we ask for. All we ask for. So let's keep the conversation going. So let's get those super chats in, hit up those super stickers because you guys are super awesome. And together we'll make sure this show is bigger, better, stronger, and more entertaining as ever. And if the super chat is not your thing, once again, we are still at the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up that tips and donations link. Go in and Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. So don't be shy. Go ahead and send in your comment, your chat, your opinion. Obviously, in terms of professional wrestling, conflicting ideologies and different perspectives is something that, kind of keeps the lifeblood of, kind of wrestling fans going a little bit. So, yeah, let's go ahead and, dig on into it. All right, so it is WWE Smackdown. Tonight is Friday, or like I like to say, Friday. It's Friday. No, I'm just kidding. Don't want to sing for you guys today. I don't know why. My voice is a little raspy. I'm just kidding. Uh, the WWE returns to the Capital One Arena in Washington for this week's episode of SmackDown. It's guaranteed to be a good one. We're going to start off with a 6-woman tag team match on WWE SmackDown. We're going to have, we're going to have Naomi teaming up with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, taking on the trio of Alba Fire and the Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union, the WWE Women's World Tag Team Champions, teaming up with Blair Davenport, the newly acquired talent from WWE NXT. So that I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I, we're gonna get into this in my fifth segment actually, but on WWE Bash at Berlin, there has been an announced match that's gonna happen. The WWE World Tag Team Champions, the Unholy Union, will take on Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for their titles. Can this be the beginning of the end of this newly formed, dominant tag team duo between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill? It could very much kind of lead to something happening at Bash at Berlin. Honestly, my money's kind of, if I had to bet the house on it, I feel like WWE could benefit more if Bianca and Jade were separate. Them together, they do, they have great matches. They have great matches. And although some people think, obviously you see these two women, physical specimens, obviously absolutely dynamic in terms of technical wrestling inside the squared circle. These girls are, they're good. But these girls can be in the singles competition and stuff like that. And with WWE kind of lingering over two new women's championships, the WWE Women's United States Championship and also the WWE Women's Intercontinental. So, these girls need to be freed from their tag team bondship. I'm sorry. It's about done. It's about time. Is it going to be done in formality? Is it going to be done with respect? That could possibly go one way, but you see it a lot of times in WWE. What happened with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano when they split? What happened when Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray were asked to split, and they're like, you know what? Honestly, Vince, I feel like we are better together. And obviously, nothing really worked out from that little. And when Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels kind of broke up, being the Midnight Rockers, it's sometimes, you're gonna have a heel, you're gonna have the baby face, and I feel like this, they can probably hit a good promo. I feel like they're not gonna do it on SmackDown tonight. I feel like it's going to be at WWE Bash at Berlin. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be one of the biggest, heel turns in the WWE history. Like, and I mentioned Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. They were best friends. They were best friends 1,010%, like at the barbershop. And then you saw Shawn super kick Marty Jannetty through that barbershop window. Barbershop, that's crazy. But overall, I I can kind of see the promo going like a little bit like that. It wasn't, it wasn't to the point where Shawn was viewed as a bad guy. It wasn't viewed as, Shawn Michaels was the bad guy. Kind of a guy who's like, you know what? I want to make my jump into features. I want to, I want to strive to be WWE champion and be the face of the company. And I feel like Jade, she's loved by the crowd. As soon as both of these girls come out, they were highly liked by the crowd. That's why I feel like WWE might not pull the trigger on this feud just yet. But I don't know. It's a lot of stuff can happen from here to from Friday to WWE Bash at Berlin. So honestly, only time will tell. Next, we're going to see the LA Knight take on Santos Escobar for the WWE United States Championship. I love LA Knight. Ever since he won that championship from Logan Paul, I kind of thought, I was like, you know what? I feel more or less that LA Knight will defend the championship on WWE Smackdown more than his successor, well, from his pre-successor, Logan Paul, going up against Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar, he needs this. He needs this 1,010%. Recently, and in terms of the Legado del Fantasma, also the LWO on Monday Night Raw. You see a lot of these Latino wrestlers that they come out bigger, and better and stronger than ever. Seems like they're going to come out and make such a huge difference, but you really haven't had somebody from from that demographic kind of come out. You have Rey Mysterio, of course, and then you have Eddie Guerrero. And then besides that, the names have kind of been plural. Like, it's not that big. I feel like WWE, especially if they want to expand to Mexico City, they recently had their Super Showdown inside Mexico City Arena. And then you had recently their newly formed partners from the TKO Holdings, the UFC, has a UFC Performance Center in Mexico City to try to reach out to Latin American MMA fighters. Because over 150 fighters inside the UFC right now is Latin American, and 20, and are from 20 different Spanish-speaking countries. That's huge. That's huge, and WWE looks to kind of piggyback on that idea that that UFC has, and they want to bring the next Rey Mysterio. And you can't really blame them. Like, what has Rey Mysterio really done on WWE Raw with the LWO? It's just, at this point, it just kind of seems, I don't know, for me, it's like, it's bananas. Zelina Vega, I get it. The LWO, yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like it could be doing a lot better. And I think with this promotional going toward Puerto Rico, obviously you see Bad Bunny on various, WWE events, either if it's Backlash or if it's WrestleMania. WWE, they recently signed Stephanie Vacure, part of the CMLL Lucha Libre. And it's just, times are changing. Times are changing, and wrestling is changing, and everything is becoming international. And it's a 1,010% time for WWE to kind of reach out to some Latin American, kind of outlets a little bit. Next, we have the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes on WWE SmackDown. Obviously, you kind of have the lingering feud with Kevin Owens with Cody Rhodes, but then you also have Austin Theory and Grayson Waller seeming like they're kind of at odds here. I want to see Austin Theory make it back up to the main event kind of caliber. I feel like on WWE SmackDown, there's like 4 or 5 other guys that are arguably better. No, not even better. That could kind of match up in the same ring as Austin Theory. Right now is the best time for Austin Theory to kind of become a singles wrestler. And I've mentioned this before, that I feel like Austin Theory's title push when he won the WWE Money in the Bank contract, I feel like it was 2 years too early. No, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. The fans weren't ready. Fans were ready, and obviously you had a bunch of idiots running the WWE creative team, and it was bad. It was bad to a point where people, like, whenever he came up on the screen, they're like, "Man, Austin Theory's a joke." The fact that he can actually bounce back and pursue his career and actually be someone with this new push, it would be astonishing. 1,010%. It would be one of the biggest face turns in WWE history. All right, next we have the Bloodline taking on the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team Championships. This could be big. But we all know what's going to happen. Obviously, the Bloodline's going to win, and I hate it. I hate it. I'm just kidding. But I feel bad for DIY. Obviously, it could be on, I love the Bloodline, everything they represent, and I love the Street Profits. Oh my God, the Street Profits are so crazy. They should be tag team champions, and DIY should be tag team champions. But instead, you have you have a weak Judgment Day storyline, a Judgment Day faction that is declining week by week. JD McDonough and Finn Balor having the champion. Like, when is tag team wrestling gonna, when are the tag team champion? Like, when is the division gonna actually feature people who fight tag team? So, 1,010%. I can't wait to see what happens on WWE Smackdown. So let's go ahead and jump on into our next segment, my Thursday night wrestling review. Oh, we're gonna talk about TNA. We're gonna talk about Ring of Honor as soon as we go back. So hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, all right, all right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time to 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Here to talk about everything in terms of, WWE, AEW, the MLW, also Stardom, CMLL, the New Japan Professional Wrestling, and we talk about it here on the GSMC Sports Network. So 1,010%, let's just go ahead and reiterate what we talked about. Recently on WWE, we talked about SmackDown, and it was great. It was great, 1,010%. I loved how it kind of pushed for more of trying to push feelings for the upcoming WWE Bash at Berlin. A lot of promos, which was actually pretty damn cool. Absolutely love a good old fashioned promo. But with the whole LA Knight taking on Santos Escobar, I feel like Santos could be, I feel like he could be better. I feel like 1,010% he was in that Money in the Bank match where possibly he could have won something to, just kind of be that guy. But then you saw, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk kind of use that briefcase overall just to kind of, I don't know. It was, just kind of push it over WWE, use it to push over the feud, and I get that you have to make Drew McIntyre and CM Punk look like they absolutely hate each other. But I don't know. I just felt like it could have been done differently here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into our Thursday night wrestling review. We're going to have TNA Impact results of August 22nd, 2024. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So Hammerstone defeated Frankie Kazarian and Kushida in an Ultimate X qualifier match. It's not really a surprise that they're pushing Hammerstone at this moment, but I do like Frankie Kazarian. I feel like he's like the Randy Orton of TNA wrestling. Kushida recently returning like about 2 or 3 months ago on TNA. But overall, it's going to make for a great match. Obviously, you have TNA Emergence coming up right around the corner. This is going to be big for Hammerstone. Although I do not think he's going to win the match, I feel like, him being on the screen could ultimately benefit the company because I don't know, just the way he is around the ring, just the way he, knows how to dictate, moves and stuff like that. So it's going to be awesome. Eric Young is backstage. Young says Hammerstone might not make it to Ultimate X later this month. After the match next week, Steve Macklin comes in, tells Young that he's watching him. Steve Macklin, like he was in the match in Slammiversary, the 6-way, elimination match, but I don't know. He's kind of taken a step back. I feel like he's ultimately kind of he's taken a step back. I don't know when TNA, I don't know if they're going to, what he wants, if they're going to push him or not. Obviously, you do have this collaboration with NXT where all of a sudden you're like, okay, if you are the TNA like general manager, you're going to be like, now you have wrestlers coming in from NXT. Like you have Charlie Dempsey, you have Riley Osborne, all of its roster space, 1,010% for them to kind of build something that that I feel like TNA should be building, you know, especially toward the future with this collaboration with NXT is good. It's good. This is something that's, the fans are excited. And, I feel like with Steve Macklin, I want him to pursue the TNA World Championship against Nick Nemeth. But I don't know. He has a stronghold over that championship. And who knows if he's going to be the champion out of emergence. You have a young, hungry, fierce, determined, absolutely barbaric man that is Josh Alexander going after Nick Nemeth's TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Next, we have Mike Santana backstage. Santana says for a long time he's lived his life in survival mode. Santana says he tried to get away from that, but it keeps pulling him back. Obviously, Mike Santana is a promising star in TNA wrestling. I definitely respect him 1,010%. Definitely think he's going to be a star pretty soon. Not that he already isn't. Next, we have Rosemary defeating Alicia Edwards with Masha Slamovich. Rosemary hits Alicia Edwards with as above, so below the score, the pinfall for the victory. Obviously, picking up a victory over the TNA Knockouts Women's Tag Team Championships. I feel like it's good. It's good. It's about time that someone finally. I love Spitfire. I love Spitfire, but obviously, they didn't win. So now we have to have new tag team competitors. Maybe Rosemary brings like a dark presence to the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. I don't know. Should be pretty badass. Should be pretty badass. Ash by Elegance is backstage. Ash says she will accept Jordan Grace's challenge on her terms, and it will have to be a match by Elegance. I don't know what a match by Elegance is, but it could be good. It could be good. Next we next we have PCO and Rhino and Xia Brookside defeated Madman Fulton and Steph D. Lander. This whole breakup between PCO and Steph D. Lander, it's I don't know, I kind of liked it, and then they got the fans into it, and the moment that it was happening, they snatched the rug right under their feet, left TNA fans kind of like I was kind of looking forward to seeing what Steph D. Launder was going to do as PCOs, kind of hype woman a little bit, kind of like when you saw Sensational Sherry with Shawn Michaels, and obviously, Macho Man Randy Savage with his wife, and then you also saw Vince McMahon. No, you saw Stephanie McMahon with Triple H. A lot of times you could have successful, women managers and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just kind of thought it was going to be something like that. But Matt Cardona says he's not medically cleared to compete yet, and brought out Khan the Madman and Madman Fulton. PCO hits Madman Fulton with a PCO assault to score the pinfall victory for the team. And honestly, like I said, we have a bunch of we were trying to build up toward TNA emergence. The Laredo Kid defeated Wolfgang Gotcher and Ja Fidal in an Ultimate X qualifying match. Jonathan Grisham defeated Charlie Dempsey, the NXT Heritage Cup champion holder. I feel like this match was pretty big. I feel like Jonathan Grisham, in terms of TNA, has been on fire. Will he pursue the NXT Heritage Cup Championship after defeating Charlie Dempsey? Kind of like a proving ground match they have in Ring of Honor and AEW. I would like to see that. I would like to see Jonathan Grisham, kind of open up that forbidden door and, kind of be a part of TNA. So I feel like this opens up the possibilities. I feel like this is great. 1,010%. The Hardy Boys Matt and Jeff Hardy defeated Moose and JDC. Jeff Hardy hit JDC with the Swanton Bomb to secure the victory, and it was pretty great. We didn't really get like a Zachary Wentz, obviously he did cost Wesley a chance at the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. Ethan Page at NXT No Mercy, so we didn't really see much of a fallout like that. Joe Hendry is the number one contender. To fight Ethan Page. He did win that triple threat match, and with the standing ovation, if it's Scotland, Canada, Mexico, all we know is that we believe. I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now with Joe Hendry. Is so cool. So cool, because 1,010% you can tell once when people actually care about professional wrestling, and they don't just like go in there like, oh, it's just a paycheck. I'm just an athlete trying to get a paycheck. And that's not the case for Joe Hendry there. So honestly, kind of back Joe Hendry 1,010%. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into Ring of Honor right quick. We are rapidly running out of time already. It's already 8:37. So we're going to hit Ring of Honor results. Bam, bada boom. Realest guy in the room. How you doing? Just kidding. No. Does anybody miss Enzo Amore of a big cast? I thought that was a pretty good tag team. Thought that was pretty awesome. All right, so first we had the Ring of Honor six-man championship match between Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs, and Sammy Guevara defeated the Undisputed Kingdom and the Dark Order, which was kind of shocking. It was kind of shocking to me. You had Matt Taven and Mike Bennett drop the titles to Rhodes and Guevara. I feel like it was a good choice. We were getting tired of the Undisputed Kingdom. They are honestly not a huge thing anymore on the Ring of Honor AEW roster. So, it's going to be interesting to find out what they do with those superstars moving forward. Cage of Agony, Bishop Khan, Brian Cage, and Toba Leona defeated Ring of Honor television champion Atlantis Jr., Fuego del Sol, and also Serpentico. You also saw, you saw Abaddon defeat Alejandro Lyon. You also, MMN Collection, Mansoor and Mason defeated Pillars of Destiny. We also saw and Helico defeat Aaron Solo in a Pure Rules match. And, we saw Trish Adora defeat Erica Lay. Commander defeats, KM. EJ Undoka defeated Dion Roosman. The Iron Savages, Bronson and Boulder, and Jack Jameson defeated Alexander, Colton Cholos, Colton Charles, and Rosario Grillo. Marina Shafir defeated TR James. Cool Hand, Ang, and Daddy Magic defeated Jacoby Watts and Nick Camarado. Leo Rush defeated Tony Nese. Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Mark Briscoe once again proves that he's the most dominant champion in professional wrestling by defeated the Beast Mortos to retain the championship. So overall, it was great. I definitely watched a little bit of highlights. I wanted to watch a little bit more. Obviously, time is of the essence, of course. So we're going to talk about Roman Reigns. Segment 3 is way over his head in terms of this new storyline. Paul Heyman was asked in an interview about Roman Reigns, and he said, honestly, to God, swear to God that, Roman Reigns, he might not come out of this a winner. He might not come out of this a winner. He might not come out of this, fully intact, but he is way in over his head. So we're going to talk about the subject matter as soon as we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Hello, hello, hello. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, all the backstage drama, also injuries, news, and, superstar contract negotiation statuses and stuff like that. We talk about it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast for promotions from WWE to AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, the GCW, also the MLW, New Japan Professional Wrestling, the CMLL. If it makes wrestling news headlines, we talk about it here on the show. So make sure you tune into it. So yeah, 1,010%. Just gonna reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Smackdown preview. We had our My Thursday Night Wrestling review, and now we're gonna get into some Roman Reigns. Looks like he's in way over his head. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and, if you have a burning question or if you have a hot take in terms of professional wrestling or just something you got to get off your mind. And if you're dying to share it here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively and making sure your voice is part of the mix. So do not be shy. Drop your chats inside that, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your question or comment gets noticed, why not use that super chat? Just hit that $sign below the chat box. Send in your message, and it's guaranteed to get featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats obviously help us a lot, guys. It helps us keep the lights on, and it brings you even more awesome wrestling content that you guys love so much. We are absolutely so grateful for each and every one of you guys here at the GSMC Sports Network who joins us daily on the network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we'll make the show bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And like I always say, if I have not, and if the super chat thing is not your thing, we are still at the gsmcpodcast.net. Hit up that tips and donations link. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Go ahead and Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, so don't be afraid to go in and hit that button. So yeah, let's go and talk about our next segment. We're going to have Roman Reigns, basically, in way over his head. So as soon as I turn this off, there we go. I don't know why it's not playing. Bam, bada boom. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Roman Reigns right now, ever since returning, hitting that impactful spear, kind of cementing his legacy, telling that Solo Sikoa, like, hey, dude, I'm not going anywhere. If you want to fight me for this tribal chief, if we want to fight in tribal chief combat, I'm open for it. 1,010%. The ending of SmackDown last week was huge. It was a huge foreshadowing, in my opinion. Roman Reigns is basically fighting an impossible battle, and he needs alliances. He needs alliances. And, right now, if you're Roman Reigns, it's gonna be a little frustrating. So obviously you came back after losing the title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And now you kind of have to restore those bridges that you burned when you were the tribal chief. Paul Heyman joined Sam Roberts. Heyman said that this bloodline story is, it's transformed the wrestling industry, and it's, that's not really anything new. I feel like, we've never really had a storyline like this in a long time. Obviously, I do feel like it's going to go to WWE Monday Night Raw with Netflix. And I feel like SmackDown's going to have to, kind of be content with something else. I don't see them holding SmackDown. I ultimately feel like they kind of had that because it was on Fox. And Fox, you got to compete with shows. You got to compete with the NFL. Well, not really on Fridays, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And Roman Reigns is, he's on an island all by himself. He's gonna have to start making, some attachments. Either if he goes to Monday Night Raw to recruit Jimmy and Jey Uso, maybe Sami Zayn. I feel like that'd be awesome if they included Zayn inside of it. Of course, obviously, when the whole honorary Uso thing with Sami Zayn was happening, this was never really like a forethought. So it's kind of cool how, kind of comes in full circle. We're like, you know what? Oh, like we need somebody. We need our honorary Uce, Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn, he's not the WWE Intercontinental Championship holder anymore. He's, he's open. He's open. So 1,010%. How far will this WWE Bloodline storyline go? I've talked about The Rock coming back and not joining Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa essentially kind of being that false prophet, that pretender. Then you have The Rock come in, that powerful tyrant that wants to assume the role as God, but he's not the true king. Obviously, he brings a lot of bad dudes with him. The Rock is going to bring a lot of bad dudes with him if he pursues the tribal chief, role. I feel like Roman Reigns is, this is one of the biggest storylines that Roman Reigns has ever been a part of. He's loved by the WWE universe right now. Obviously, it has to be handled really delicately because WWE fans remember how Vince McMahon shoved Roman Reigns down our throat. As a babyface, it was like, hey, you like him, like him, like him. And then, it just kind of drew people more away. You know what I mean? And right now, it took Roman Reigns to go heel this bloodline storyline that took place from 2001 to 2024 when you saw everything kind of go down. It's, oh my God, it's legendary. It's legendary, 1,010%. Heyman, basically, he confirmed that he will return as soon as possible. The fans are in a journey of surprise. And he said this, and I quote, "You don't know what our moves are or anyone's move can possibly be on WWE." He also said, and I quote, "All you know is that Roman Reigns is back. He's back to reclaim the title of the tribal chief from Solo Sikoa." And he also had this to say. He said Solo Sikoa kind of has a lot of backup right now. Roman is in deep, deep trouble. And, it's true. You saw on SmackDown, Roman Reigns, kind of got a taste of what Solo Sikoa's version of the new young bloodline can do. Obviously, with the addition of Jacob Fatu, Tango Loa Tama Tonga, I got to throw a lot of credit toward Tama Tonga. I feel like out of, besides Jacob Fatu being absolutely impressive as hell, probably being the tribal chief in and himself, it's I feel like they deserve a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of credit. Tungaloa, kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And I've seen highlights of him in past wrestling promotions, and I gotta be honest, I'm not that impressed, not yet. I'm not completely shutting it off right off the bat, but he could be better. He could be better. Like he's missed on a couple of cues on his debut. He missed on the low blow happening with Kevin Owens. He missed, and it's wrestling is obviously it's live in front of millions, no, not millions, but in front of thousands, tens of thousands of people in terms of WWE. So if you have to, kind of reach up, hit that sack to sell that low blow, come on, Tom Low, you got to do it, man. You got to do it better. Like Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter be like, oh, you don't know exactly how bad WWE fans are looking at Tongaloa for, kind of botching those moves. When people think of the bloodline, I think of the Samoan dynasty. You think about, Peter Maivia. You also think about the High Chief. You also think about, Rikishi, Umaga, The Rock, Roman Reigns. And they kind of miss off on stuff like that. Obviously, you're going to get lashback, and in this new day and age of the digital era and social media, if you mess up, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. So definitely, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. You see reels, and they're like, you know what? I don't think Tungaloa is real, dog. But it could be interesting to find out what goes on moving forward. So on SmackDown, like I said, Reigns did get a taste of what Solo Sikoa's new version of the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu is probably the true difference maker on the Bloodline, 1,010%. We also still have people, kind of waiting in the wings. We still have the damn near 7-footer Hikuleo from New Japan Professional Wrestling waiting to make a debut. Heyman spoke about how the Bloodline storyline is barely in the third inning, and he kind of compares it to like a cinema, which made me think of overall like Netflix. Netflix. That's the reason why WWE Monday Night Raw feels so comfortable about this TV streaming television deal with Netflix because they can do it. The way that they're having this storyline between the Bloodline, it's kind of like I don't know if any of you guys watch Peaky Blinders on Netflix, kind of like the family and stuff like that, kind of going out there, watching each other's backs, a lot of betrayal, a lot of people trying to be Thomas Shelby and, couldn't necessarily live up to the hype like you saw Michael, like, and it's like, kind of something like that. Like you have a show that you could be like, you know what? If The Rock's going to be on Netflix, basically we have a free Netflix show. They signed a deal with WWE, so they don't necessarily have to pay The Rock, kind of separately. And The Rock is actually part of WWE right now. He's the chairman in terms of TKO Holdings. So obviously he cares a lot about the product. He cares a lot about his family and the storyline kind of moving forward. So, with Paul Heyman saying that it's only in the third inning, I believe that's 1,010% true. No one could dispute that fact. 1,010%. And, next he said, and I quote, trying to find the word of what we are doing becomes difficult because we weren't doing anything that was defined by conventional descriptions within the realm of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Heyman said it's not about insulting the audience's intelligence. The storyline is absolutely resonating with the fans. A resurgence in WWE reflected its ratings, ticket sales, and television deals. And the fans are basically they're excited. They're excited, and they are paying more attention to detail. And he said this in the last quote. Paul Heyman said, every single solitary moment, every frame we're in has a meaning behind it. And that's true. Like, that's something that I kind of thought about once when Triple H took over WWE. I was like, Triple H, although he is kind of letting go of a lot of superstars, I ultimately feel like he's kind of creating a WWE where everybody kind of has their own say, kind of has their own storyline, not just jobbers, kind of throwing themselves in matches and having pointless matches. Every match you see on WWE serves a purpose. And if it doesn't, then they're like, you know what, go out there and spread your wings. Maybe you can get, a deal from AEW, which what happened with Ricochet. And I feel like 1,010% departing was mutual. I feel like there was a lot of respect in terms of that. Ricochet was a huge Triple H kind of guy. Ricochet was ultimately messed up during the Vince McMahon era before Triple H took over. And it's gonna bite them in the ass. You're gonna see AEW pick up a lot of new, ratings and stuff like that. And it's I don't know, it's just not good. It's just not good. But overall, for Ricochet joining AEW, he belongs there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. All right, guys. So we talked about Roman Reigns in way over his head on WWE Smackdown. Now we're gonna talk about my AEW All In predictions. Grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack, and join me after this commercial break. So hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Here to talk about professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had my WWE Smackdown preview. We had my Thursday Night Wrestling review. We talked about Ring of Honor, also Total Nonstop Impact Wrestling. We also talked about Roman Reigns on SmackDown being in way over his head, competing with this new young bloodline compromised or comprised. Damn it. I can't think of the word. Holy shit. Holy crap. Sorry. Excuse me. Kind of created by Solo Sikoa. At first you saw, Tama Tonga, then Tango Loa, then Jacob Fatu, and now they just look absolutely unstoppable. With Fatu right there, he's a game changer. He's a game changer, 1,010%. And yeah, it should be pretty interesting. And now we're going to talk about some AEW All In predictions. We have my man Emran's Soccer Podcast rapidly approaching in about 34 minutes. So we're going to try to keep this brief, kind of keep it going. It is Friday. So I don't want to keep you guys too much. I want to make sure you guys have a good night's rest, have an amazing weekend with the family, and have a safe, fun, loving weekend that you remember, just kick your feet up, keep your feet up, because y'all deserve it. Because y'all deserve it. All right, so let's talk about some AEW. Why does it do that? Damn it. Let's talk about some AEW All In London. There's already 50,000 tickets sold. This is one of the biggest events in AEW. And so far, it's kind of lived up to the hype. And that's good for AEW. Good for AEW. I kind of like it when AEW, you have the scrutiny about, oh, you're not as good as WWE. Well, yeah, dude. Yeah, that's because they've been around for decades. This is our 5-year anniversary. Kind of get off our arse, dude. Like, relax. And like a lot of wrestling media likes to do that, to be like, oh, Rampage and Collision and Dynamite ratings go down. And in reality, it's like, you know what? With this new day and age with digital media, you can stream something on YouTube and have it absolutely 1,010% free. That's that. You sell your product that way. By creating good content, by kind of appealing to multiple demographics, but most importantly, just being genuine. Just being genuine. So 1,010%. I feel like AEW All In is going to be a banger. I'm going to be renting it. I think it's still $50. Hopefully they don't hike up the price because it's going to be awesome. Hopefully they don't. All right, so this is AEW's biggest show of the year. We have our All In 0 Hour. We have Willow of Nightingale teaming up with Tomohiro Ishii of New Japan Professional Wrestling against Chris Statlander and Stokely. I hate Stokely. Man, I just want to get his butt kicked. Uh, so my pick, honestly, I think Willow Nightingale, the CMLL World Women's Champion, will prove dividends and prove why she's amazing and why Chris Statlander can't hold her own inside the ring with her. Next, we have the Casino Gauntlet match. We have freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy will start in that -- spot, but there's a lot of fighters that could be, they're gunning for it. I want to believe that, oh my God, who's the guy that MJF attacked? And not Sammy Guard. Damn it, I can't think of his name and it's killing me. Obviously, a lot of people can make a case for Hangman Adam Page becoming the winner, but you had Ricochet sign a multi-year $1 million contract with AEW. What's the hurt for him coming in? What's the if he does come in, he doesn't necessarily have to win. Imagine if he's like, kind of part of like at the end where he doesn't necessarily kind of get his ass kicked and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's it should be pretty awesome. Should be pretty awesome. All in all, the Casino Gauntlet match, Hangman Adam Page might pull out the victory. Kyle O'Reilly is going to be there as well. Roderick Strong, people gunning for a chance for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Swerve Strickland, champion holder. And I think it's going to make sense at All Out if you have Hangman Adam Page taking on Swerve Strickland finally, because you have Hangman just taking out everybody in the back, kind of being a jerk about it, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. Next, we have the London ladder match for the AEW Trios Championship. The Bang Bang Gang and House of Black will take on, the Bang Bang Gang takes on House of Black. They take on a mystery team, and they take on Patriarchy. I don't know who the mystery team's going to be. Maybe Dustin Rhodes and, the Von Erichs. Also, where else? Where the Bang Bang Gang, Switchblade Jay White has been, cleared to wrestle. So he's going to make his way back, trying to get his championship titles back. There was a point when these guys were like hot. These guys were killing it. These guys were double champions. They had titles after titles after titles. They had gold all around their waist. But thanks to Switchblade Jay White's injury, they were forced to kind of relinquish those titles or kind of put under by AEW. It's kind of be like, all right, like, we can have these guys champions if they're injured. If they're injured. All right, next we have the AEW Tag Team titles. We have FTR and the Acclaimed against the Young Bucks. Ultimately, I think the Young Bucks are gonna come out the victors. I would like to see FTR win, and I would like to see something different happen with this new like elite kind of storyline. It's to the point where right now you kind of have, Jack Perry, the scapegoat. He's kind of doing his own thing. I don't necessarily think that he needs the elite to kind of ultimately promote him. I feel like within the next 6 months, you will probably not see the elite on AEW anymore because it's not really resonating with the fans. Like a lot of what they do is just, it pisses them off. But it's just the fact that they do the same thing over and over and over and over again, cutting the same damn promo, putting the same like it's troublesome and it's tiresome. While watching AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, you keep seeing the same stuff, like kind of spewed out. Like if you're stuck into like this, alternate universe where it just plays every like 10 seconds, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of starting to get over this. If the Young Bucks ultimately want to be taken seriously in AEW again, they have to ditch this elite thing. You know what I mean? They'd be like, you know what? Like Tony Khan comes back, he takes full control of AEW. The elite, step down. Like, look, all we do is want to wrestle, and I feel like that would be, I feel like that would be the perfect scenario. You know what I mean? Next we have the FTW Championship. We have Hook going up against Chris Jericho. Obviously, you have Chris Jericho with a lot of backup. You have the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, and Big Bill of the Learning Tree going up against Hook, who has Shibata, and maybe Arlington, maybe Billing. Like, who knows? Who knows if Billington's going to back him up? After what happened with the Chris Jericho on Rampage, I think it was Rampage or Collision. No, it was Rampage. No, it was Dynamite. It was Dynamite. Sorry. But overall, I feel like this is a great way for Chris Jericho to kind of step out of the limelight a little bit. As the FTW champion, I feel like Hook is a way more marketable champion. I feel like he can represent the title way better because he is younger. He is younger, 1,010%. And then, this is Hook's last chance. If Hook loses, he cannot challenge Chris Jericho again. So this is kind of like that put up or shut up kind of moment for Hook. So, should be interesting to find out what happens next. Next, we have a coffin match for the TNT AEW World Championship. We have Darby Allin taking on Jack Perry. Darby Allin does have a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in the future. So, I think overall, after tonight, you're going to see just Darby Allin go absolutely nuts. He's going to be bleeding from head to toe. But I think overall, you're going to see the scapegoat of Jack Perry pick up the victory. Like you kind of need Jack Perry to be holding that AEW TNT championship because he just pisses people off. He gets people, gets all the viewers because people want to see him being hurt bad. People when he had that blood and guts match at on Dynamite about 3 weeks ago. People wanted to see him burn. They're like, Darby, light that match, man, light him up. But it's to the point where, like I said, that's the falling out of the elite. Jack Perry's kind of a walking human highlight reel on his own. But, but taking on Darby Allin. Darby Allin is no easy walk in the park. No, no breakfast or no picnic on the beach, anything like that. So I don't know. I want to see Darby Allin do really, really well in AEW. But I think they're going to keep the title on Jack Perry. I feel like Jack Perry is more likely to retain the championship title that he's holding as opposed to what the Young Bucks have. I feel like, he has more of a chance to, kind of be great. Next, we have the AEW American Championship match between Will Ospreay and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Man, this is going to be a good match. This is going to be a match that's going to be this is going to be one of the best matches in wrestling history. So just know if you buy this pay-per-view, you are in for a treat. They had an amazing match on Dynamite, almost ended in a time limit draw, but you had Will Ospreay kind of second guess his will his decision, his frustrations that he wanted to finish MJF with that Tiger Driver 91 that ultimately almost injured Bryan Danielson, costed his career. Will Ospreay then vowed never to use it after AEW Dynasty. So this is gonna be a great match. I feel all in all, MJF puts on great matches. Will Ospreay, great matches. So what does that mean about the match? It's gonna be great. Not really much to say about this, but make sure you tune in. All right, next we have the TBS Championship match. We have Mercedes Moné defending against the DMD Britt Baker. I honestly don't feel like Britt Baker is going to win. She's one hell of a competitor, though, and she does cut a hell of a promo. And, if you're a Mercedes Moné fan, you're kind of pissed off at what Britt Baker kind of had to say. She brought up the Four Horsemen in WWE NXT. She also brought up how Mercedes Moné, when she was Sasha Banks in WWE, when things got hard, she didn't deal with it. She ultimately, got up, took her ball home, and left. Those are powerful things. Those are powerful words by a woman that was in WWE, but she was ultimately she was a jobber. Now she's made it to AEW. She's proved her name. And now I would like to see her win the championship title. I would. 1,010% I would. But obviously I can't control the universe. I can't. I'm sorry. I tried. I'm just kidding. Imagine control. I'm just kidding. But all in all, I feel like, this is going to be one of the best matches of the evening. So I can't wait to watch it. Next, we have the AEW Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Toni Storm against Mariah May. One of the hottest women's storylines in professional wrestling within the last couple of decades. So I think Mariah May wins. I think it's, I think with the help of Mina Shirakawa, she kind of ushers in this new era of AEW's women's division. And I feel like it's going to be great because at this point in time, you have Toni Storm that, she took on absolutely everybody, all the challengers, all the newcomers, just to ultimately win the championship over and over and over again. So I think it is time for a change. Usually, I kind of compare this to WWE with WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, all our big PLEs. This is the biggest PLE in AEW history. If things are going to start brand new, it's going to be tonight. So, I predict Mariah May is going to win this match. All right, lastly, we have the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. We have Swerve Strickland going up against Bryan Danielson, career versus championship. I think Swerve wins. I think Swerve wins in this match. I honestly think 1,010% that after this is all said and done, this is going to promote both superstars. Bryan Danielson does not need to be in AEW full-time, part-time, yes. But full-time, dude, don't hurt yourself, man. You have kids, you have a family. One slightest little thing, you become paralyzed. You can't walk out of a wheelchair. Can't, dance with your daughter on a wedding night. You can't play catch with your son and teach him how to play football and stuff like that. I guess to the point where, and Tony Khan, he cares about his wrestlers. And by all means, he will sign Bryan Danielson to a contract that is you know what? We're going to keep him backstage interviewing, maybe on the announce desk. And if he wants to fight here and there, why not? We'll let him. Having that kind of leeway, that's big. That's big. So, if you have the opportunity, Bryan, you got to take it. You got to take it. And, although Swerve Strickland is actually one of my most favorite wrestlers right now at the moment, I don't know. I just believe that Swerve is a fighting champion. Right now, he is in God mode. He's killing it. He's like Roman Reigns when he was during the Bloodline, but he doesn't have any backup. Right now, Swerve Strickland isn't the easiest person to fight, isn't the easiest person to win, because when he goes out there, it's not just a championship title. You're taking away his legacy. You're taking away the reason he wakes up every single morning. You're taking away what makes him feel in his own subconscious being that he is complete as a person. Having a champion like that, it's hard to beat. So we're going to have a great main event. Can't wait to see what happens next. Can't wait to see, oh my God, I can't wait for AEW All In. So, yeah. All right, guys, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to finish up with our fifth and final segment, our wrestling news roundup. We're going to talk about the major breaking wrestling all around the professional wrestling industry. We're going to talk about it here on the GSMC Sports Network. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Smackdown preview. We had my Thursday night wrestling review. We also talked about Roman Reigns being way in over his head on WWE Smackdown. He needs help. He needs help 1,010%. Either if it's Lance Noe or Zila Fatu who come in. He needs backup. He needs backup. 1,010%. Then we talked about AEW's All In predictions. Can't wait. It's going to be a great overall pay-per-view. Obviously, the first Sunday before the NFL Sunday, I believe it is. I don't think so. 2 weeks, so I think it's actually a perfect product placement in terms of that. So we're going to talk about our fifth and final segment, our wrestling news roundup. So let's go ahead and talk about it before Emran comes on with his GSMC soccer podcast in about 17 minutes. All right, we have a confirmed match for WWE Bash at Berlin. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair will fight the Unholy Union for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And I think this is going to be a huge buildup. It's going to be time for these two superstars to break up. I want to see one attack the other. I feel like more or less, Bianca Belair has been such a face ever since she made it to the WWE main roster. I feel like, and then Jade being a part of AEW, I don't think she really needs to be, she really needs to be a heel because people will be like, oh, she's an AEW star. Like, of course she would be bad for WWE. Bianca Belair needs to do it. She needs to go out there and she needs to be like, she needs to be pissed off at Jade for not winning the titles. And, I think it's going to be a shock factor. It's going to be one of the biggest shock factors in WWE in recent years because the two girls together, as a matter of fact, are actually kind of great as tag team champions. When you see two caliber wrestlers of this kind of, of these kind of talents, you kind of think that every single match they fight, they're going to be absolutely dominant. It's not even going to matter. But no, these girls produce like 7 to 10-minute matches where they make the opposing competitors look good. They know how to sell a fight. They know how to see themselves as like the endangered ones. When all in all, these girls in a real fight would absolutely kind of take over the match. But I feel like it's time. With the WWE Women's Championship under Nia Jax taking on is she fighting Michin? Is she fighting Michin? I think they need to find a bigger and better, stronger competitor for Nia Jax. So, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill could be that kind of person. 1,010%. All right, next we have AEW All In has sold about 5,000 tickets. That's incredible. Big round of applause. That's huge. It's taking place tonight. And not tonight, on Sunday, Wembley Stadium in London, which kind of makes me think if I'm going to buy it, then I kind of have to do it by their time. And I don't know when that time's going to be. If it was like 7 or 6 in the morning, it's going to be like, damn it. Like, I don't want to wake up. Like, you know what I mean? But for this, I'd wake up. It's like the WrestleMania. It's the WrestleMania of WWE. And now AEW has a chance to absolutely kill it tonight. And I believe this is going to be hot. This is honestly kind of the benchmark of the new era, kind of going in. You recently signed Will Ospreay in March. You saw Mercedes Moné coming around like April or May. And then you had Kazuchika Okada coming around the same time as Mercedes. And now you have Ricochet coming in August. This is kind of going to be a huge change. I feel like AEW storyline, AEW initiatives and AEW top executives are going to be like, you know what? This is it. This is it. It's time for new storylines. We've had the timeless Toni Storm be the AEW World Women's Champion for the longest time. We've had Swerve Strickland, kind of keep the company afloat, doing his thing. We've seen, MJF come back during this year. Will Ospreay is still highly conflicted with themselves to use that Tiger Driver 91. Bryan Danielson is on the verge of retiring, so something big has to happen because he's very, very popular. People watch the show a lot of the times because of how awesome the American Dragon Bryan Danielson is inside the ring. So, I don't know. It could be pretty awesome. It's going to be a great show. I can't wait. And much like I said before, Ricochet is all elite. Exactly what I thought. Exactly what I kind of thought. I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be that WWE conspiracy theorist. You have Samantha Irving as your fiance, an amazing Monday Night Raw ring announcer. She can make her way to AEW. Maybe replace Justin Roberts. Although I do like Justin Roberts, I think it is pretty badass. With the two not being able to kind of travel together, like that's got to kind of create a little bit of scrutiny on your relationship a little bit. I ultimately feel like Samantha Irving, you know, she got what she wanted with WWE. She did have her Wednesday hump day photo dump every Wednesday for about almost like, 8 months to a year. And now she could be signed. She could be signed. Like I said, she could be the next, top model for AEW has a lot. Obviously, what you saw with Sasha Banks filming in the Mandalorian series, Tony Khan is highly, supportive of their superstars kind of going above and beyond a professional wrestling. So 1,010% Ricochet belongs in AEW. It's better. It's better for him. I feel like it's better for the future of Ricochet. He's going to get a lot of talent. He's getting not a lot. He's going to get a lot. He's going to get a lot of titles. If anybody could dethrone Kazuchika Okada, it's him. Will he be in the Casino Gauntlet match? Maybe. I feel like he will, although he won't win. But I don't know. It's just kind of cool. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. Next, we have Alexa Bliss dropping a hint on Twitter/X about her return, basically saying like, "Hey, watch me return." At WWE Bash at Berlin, she could very much, be the person to, challenge Nia Jax next. Obviously, she, kind of had a lot of, past animosities between Nia Jax, or she finds a way to kind of implement herself on main Monday Night Raw to take on Liv Morgan, which would be an amazing match. I feel like her and Liv, they kind of have similar, physical attributes. And I feel like it'd be cool. I feel like it'd be cool 1,010%. Maybe she finds it like I've been the real person running Judgment Day. Next, AEW star Swerve Strickland is renegotiating his contract, and by all means, it's at the right time. It's at the right time. Like you don't know what's going to happen at AEW All In. If you're going to be the champion, great. If not, then you kind of have to have something financially stable for the future. Because if you're not the champion, then you kind of slip down within the ratings in terms of the roster, in terms of AEW. People are like, you know what? Swerve isn't that great. Let's go ahead and move off of him. And he becomes a free agent once again. Kind of like what happened with him at WWE NXT. Obviously, he doesn't want that to happen again. So he's like, you know what? I want to renegotiate my contract. I feel like, Tony Khan is going to keep Swerve Strickland. I feel like he's great. Swerve Strickland on AEW is absolutely 1,010% dynamite. I, can't imagine a better AEW World Champion than Swerve Strickland. Next, we have Ronda Rousey reviewed the real reason why she left WWE because she was getting like concussions and she had like a neurological like injury. So it wasn't necessarily because you saw her in a match with Shayna Baszler, and I thought for sure she kind of pulled a Naomi and Mercedes Moné, where she was like, you know what, this is bullspit. I don't want to be treated like this by Vince McMahon and his WWE creatives, only giving us 3 to 5 minutes of creative thinking, brainstorming time. So, it's I don't know, it's a very delicate situation in terms of Ronda Rousey because I got to be honest, I am part of that crew where I was like, you know what, Ronda wasn't that great. Ronda wasn't that great inside the ring. They automatically just brought her up to the main roster on WWE Raw, where she could have damn near been in NXT, kind of fought her way up to the top, kind of like what you see with Shayna Baszler. And I feel like if they bring Ronda back, they got to do it well. Even Ronda Rousey said that, Vince McMahon doesn't give a crap about Vince McMahon, but Triple H, she feels like under the Triple H, Paul Levesque era, she could be an asset. So possibly this could be a huge reason for them, panning out a deal in the future. And if you're TKO Holdings, the owners of WWE, the newly formed partnership with UFC, you kind of had someone like Ronda Rousey that created so much, media, babble, all this public relations, kind of content. And if you're the UFC representative, you're like, you know what? Yeah, we need to get Ronda back because what she did for the UFC was great. What she can do for WWE could be even better. So, 1,010%, I think that Ronda Rousey will make her way back to WWE probably within the next, maybe like a year and a half. Maybe like a year and a half. Next, Mauro Ronaldo, one of my favorite wrestling announcers of all time. He used to be on SmackDown. No, Raw. No, but he was great. He was great. Every single time he announced, it was like you were inside the ring. It was so freaking cool. Obviously, a UFC guy. And this doesn't come to a shock that he's going to sign with another professional wrestling promotion because he was great. He was a great announcer, but obviously he left WWE because of, there was speculation, there was allegations that right now WWE Smackdown anchor Corey Graves bullied him, made him feel omnipotent, kind of made him feel like crap, kind of, to like, hey, you get, kind of gets way too excited, kind of being that like know-it-all, kind of like, kind of had his head up his own butt kind of thing. Still to this day, that's the reason why I really don't like Corey Graves, is because the way he kind of treated people backstage, the way he basically, kind of shut this guy's creative mind down. The bullying's never good. Bullying is never cool. I still now to this day, I respect Corey Graves as a commentary on WWE SmackDown, but I'm like, reality, I'm like, dude, like you basically kicked out, you basically, kind of pushed out a guy that was way better than you, that probably was going to get that main anchor in your place. And you basically got jealous and he bullied him. Like, that's awful. That's terrible. 1,010%. That's the reason why still to this day, I don't really respect Corey Graves. All right, next we have Bryan Danielson's daughter wants her dad to lose at AEW All In's main event, and you can't really blame her. Like, Dad, you told me that you were gonna retire. This was the last contract. What the hell? And you know, you're worried about your dad. Obviously, like I mentioned before, something just a slight misstep. Danielson could get hurt. His neck needs to stay fixable. And this could be it. This could be it for Bryan Danielson. This could very much be his retirement tour. This could be it. If he lands on his head wrong, his neck, he doesn't get to walk his daughter down the aisle. Or he doesn't get to, dance with her daughter on her wedding night. Or, you think you don't get to play baseball with your son. Or you don't get to maybe walk your son down the aisle. Like, who knows? Like, whatever. But you kind of need to watch out for Mano Imana. You've been around the professional wrestling ever since you were 19 years old. Like, everybody respects the hell out of Bryan Danielson. And, even if he loses or wins, I feel like he's heading near part-time. He's going to be part-time. And Tony Khan loves Bryan Danielson. He ultimately supports his superstars 1,010%. He'll send private jets out for their little league games. He, was, willing to give Mercedes Moné private jet to fly from Los Angeles to wherever AEW was so she can do a passion project when she was filming The Mandalorian. So, he cares about his superstars. He cares about his superstars a lot. That's why I feel like, there's a lot of there's a lot of respect for Tony Khan in terms of that. So, Bryan Danielson, his daughter wants him to lose at AEW All In. So she's probably the biggest Swerve Strickland fan, but I'm a big Swerve Strickland fan. So, I definitely, gotta find a way to, kind of make it, be like, I'm the best, dude. I'm the best. I'm just kidding. So guys, honestly, that's my show. We had a beautiful Friday. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend moving forward and be safe. Have fun with your family. Obviously, life is short. Make sure you spend every waking time. You can always make more money. You can't create more moments, and you can't buy more time. So, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the show, follow the network. Superman punch that subscribe button, and you won't regret it. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that subscribing to this GSMC Sports Network, you get access to shows, a whole bunch of shows. Like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have the GSMC Soccer Podcast with Emran coming up at 9:30. We got TJ with GSMC Sports. We have Jeremy with Sports by GSMC. We got Kenneth with the GSMC Football Podcast, Manny with the Chip Shot Football Podcast, my man Chris Shepard with the GSMC fantasy sports podcast, Tommy, on the GSMC, college sports, college football, NFL is right around the corner. It's going to be sick, absolutely sick. Nelson with the basketball podcast as well. So make sure you tune in to all those shows. 10% great guys. Those are my dogs. My dogs. My dogs. Passion for podcasting, passion for sports. Remember that we are always viral. Remember to subscribe to Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. So once again, hope you guys sleep well, stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit.